Welcome back everyone, Folklore here, and today with this video I wanted to do something special. Here recently in my English Composition 2 class here in college, we were issued a new essay which covered the basic premise being to define something. To take a concept in our society and define it. And the example that they gave was an essay that was written in 1972 called I Want a Wife. And it was a very satirical paper talking about how women's issues on how they were mistreated usually by men in marriages. The expectations for them were rather unfair, and she wrote it as a satirical way of protest. Well, in our day and age, by the way, and I also want to bring up another topic, but I'll say this first. In our day, it's kind of flipped, where in marriages now it's kind of the opposite. Now men are kind of getting the short end of the stick. And I decided that I would write a mirror to I Want a Wife. And this essay is pure satire. I just want to make that clear. And it does have a little bit of, it has rewordings. Like the first paragraph is a rewording of the first paragraph in I Want a Wife. So if anybody brings up that, yes, I do acknowledge that this is a mirror to an earlier paper, and I do give right and acknowledgement to Sally. I can't remember her name. I can't remember her name. Isn't that terrible? Solby, something Solby. But you can find that paper in the description below if you want to check it out. I like it. I thought it was a really good paper. But today, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be reading to you my paper. And it is and with it, isn't that funny? Without further ado, I present to you I Want a Husband. I belong to a classification of people known as husbands. I am a husband, and not altogether incidentally, I am a father. Not long ago, a female friend of mine appeared on the scene fresh from a recent divorce. She had one child who is, of course, with her. She is looking for another husband. As I thought about her while I was working in the office one evening, it suddenly occurred to me that I, too, would like to have a husband. Why do I want a husband? I want a husband that will take care of the needs of our children while I go to yoga classes and work at social services, to tend to them and feed them, clothe them, send them to school, and help them when they're hurt or sick, but won't get too attached to them because I might come across another man who will be more willing to capitulate to my demands and shower me with gifts. And if that happens, I'll be taking the kids with me in full custody. And speaking of children, I want a husband that will not interfere with my rights over my children whether they are born or not. I want him to not get in the way of my decisions for our child. And if I decide to have an abortion, he will not try to make me have the baby. My body is my choice. And as we know, a separate human being living inside you is actually a part of your body. And my husband should not have a say in the matter. After all, he's only the husband. After all, he's only the father. I want a husband that will not make a squabble if I decide to divorce him, nor complain when I take away half of his belongings and demand him to pay alimony checks. As As I have said, if we have children, I will be taking them to live with me. Sorry about this. I'd prefer if he didn't see them at all. If he tries to defy those terms and fight to have partial, or God forbid, even complete custody, then I will slander his name, calling him abusive of our children, even sexually abusive towards them, whether it be true or not. And if he's put in jail, that's just fine by me. After all, as a man, he should be punished for the crimes of his ancestors against women throughout history, even though he probably would never act on those crimes himself. After all, courts always believe the woman, because they never lie. However, if he is released years later because it was discovered that I did lie, I shouldn't be arrested for not telling the truth and taking away his freedom and precious time away from his children. It's all in the past. We shouldn't dwell on that. I want a husband that will work to supply our needs, to work long and hard at the office, day in and day out. I want him to not expect me to tend to him when he gets home, no matter how tired or hard or dangerous the job he might suffer. I want him to come home without marry a complaint, and to not expect me to tend to his needs, no matter how hard his day may have been. He must also be willing to work around the house as soon as he gets home. He must be able to tend to the household needs when he returns from the office, from the construction site, from the factories. He must be able to take care of our children's needs, take care of the bills, work around the house, fix the appliances, fix the septic tanks, fix the roof, fix the side of the house, tend to the lawn, and trim the garden. He must provide with no reward in mind. Though I do have to wonder, why do married men die at such an early age? I want a husband that will blindly agree with everything I say and stand for, even if I have no fact or flimsy evidence to support it. I want him to believe everything that I tell him, without questioning anything. I am the fairer sex, and therefore I am always right. I want a husband that will support my political views even if he doesn't agree with them, and will not express his own views around me if I don't agree with them. And I want a husband that knows that sometimes I need a night out with my friends. I want a husband who is sensitive to my sexual needs, a husband that will be eager to make sure that I am satisfied. I want him to not expect for me to always give the same performance as he does, and that he will not complain when I dangle it above his head so that I can win arguments or obtain something that I want. I want a husband that will remain sexually faithful to me so that I do not have to clutter up my intellectual life with jealousies. And I want a husband that understands that my sexual needs may entail more than strict adherence to monogamy. I must, after all, be able to relate to people as fully as possible. Wow. Who wouldn't want a husband? This has been Folklore Brony, and I hope you enjoyed that. Subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. I hope you liked it. Send a like in the description, and I hope to see you sometime. I hope to hear your comments, to hear what you think. And without further ado, I'm going to sign off. Bye.